USF is taking a student satisfaction inventory. Students are rehearsing for the November musical, and the USF football team kept its claim on the key to the city.
All this and more coming up next on College Week.
From the McDonald Center on the campus of the University of Sioux Falls, this is College Week with Dylan Dwyer, Jaden Buchelman, and Sports with Thomas Marshall.
Good morning, I'm Dylan Dwyer.
And I'm Jaden Buchelman. Thanks for joining us. Well, Dylan, it's October 31st. Do you have any fun Halloween plans?
Well, of course, I'll be going trick-or-treating tonight because I've never missed a trick-or-treating session.
Is that true?
Oh, 100% true.
What are you dressing up as?
I will be Ron Burgundy, the anchor man, tonight. I have 3 other friends that will be going as the Channel 4 news team.
Okay, well, I really hope you stop at my house. We'll give you some Lifesaver gummies.
We'll see about that. I'd like that. USF administration is taking a student satisfaction inventory now until November 15th. This gives students a chance to tell administrators what they like and what is important to them. Students can participate in this by clicking on the link sent to them via email.
Augustana College hosts its annual Bow Forum on Public Affairs on November 4th. This year's event features Governor John Huntsman. Huntsman is a former governor of Utah, a 2012 presidential candidate, and former U.S. ambassador to China and Singapore. He plans to discuss the geopolitics of China and the U.S. at 7 p.m. on Monday, November 4th in the Elman Center. The event is free to the public, but tickets are required and available at www.augitickets.com.
USF has been awarded a $2,000 grant from Sam's Club to help with its mentor program with Terry Redland Elementary School. The money will go towards updating supplies and equipment. The USF Mentor Program began 6 years ago with students in a juvenile justice course and has now been expanded to include 50 USF mentors from many majors and some faculty and staff.
This week is Spook Week, and the USF campus has prepared a number of activities for the students. Tina Spade and Ashley Maturin tell College Week what each night entails. Here's Kristen Vanderpool with more on the story.
So this week is Scare Week, and starting tonight, we're having a game of Toxicity Challenge. And after that, we're going to have a pumpkin carving contest, and then followed by a testimony from Morgan DeLang. And Ashley's going to share what's on Tuesday night.
And on Tuesday night at 10 p.m., we're all going to come together in the library, and we're going to have a little game of scaring as far as you want to. Sorry, T.O., timeout. What is it called? I don't know what it's called.
The library one?
Yeah. Can you look at the email?
I'm sorry.
So Tuesday night, we've got the Avoid the Parent Challenge at 10 p.m. in the library, and there will be obstacles, and you have to sneak around the library, the upper floor, and avoid being caught by the parents.
Yes. And on Wednesday night, it's kind of a similar challenge. It'll be at 9 p.m. over in the Jesse Auditorium, and it's called Hide and Sneak. So you're going to hide and sneak.
And then Thursday night, we have got our scare challenge that's been going on all week. We encourage you to scare someone, which is probably not typical, but get it on camera, stop by the Student Development Office and show someone that you have terrified someone adequately. And there will be a prize for that as well, so that's pretty exciting. And then we'll be showing Monsters University on 3rd floor, Sully, because Sully's in Monsters University. Clever. And we don't have a building named Mike, so that's why we're not showing it there. But that will be at 10 p.m.
And then Friday night, it's going to round off with the Halloween costume party and semi-dance. So get your craziest Halloween costume together, show up, and have a great time. That's going to be over in the Cleveland Center. Pick up a pumpkin. I don't know.
Rehearsals for this year's fall musical are already in full gear, preparing for opening day, which is only a few weeks away. College Week's Donovan Miner explains what life is like behind the scenes.
How to succeed in business without really trying, a Broadway hit musical will soon be making its debut on the USF stage come late November. Musical rehearsals are already in full swing, complete with late nights, hours of dancing and singing, and intense memorization of lines. However, with the amount of practice time put in by the actors and actresses, the atmosphere of the rehearsal is one of excitement and anticipation. With this increase of enthusiasm comes an increase in stress due to late-night practices. Brittany Kurtenbach, a senior music education and theater double major, says that practices, though almost every single day, are made accessible for actors' personal schedules.
Joe, our new director, is very good about respecting our time and making sure we get out on time and aren't there for rehearsals that we're not needed for.
Alongside performing in the musical, Kurtenbach is also finishing up student teaching at a local school. She says making time for both is relatively easy.
Student teaching while being in a musical is surprisingly easy because I am done with school at a decent hour. I go from 7:30 to 4, but you know, both are rewarding, so you just make time for both.
Filling the shoes of the main protagonist is sophomore Matt Addig, a veteran to the stage who was leading last year's musical. He feels blessed to be a part of this musical and says it's been amazing to work with this year's cast as well as learning from last year's seniors.
My second principal character role at USF. It's been an incredible experience so far, both last year and this year, getting to work with incredibly talented seniors like Brittany Kurtenbach and TJ Polzine and Alyssa Nice.
Performances for the musical How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying are November 15th through 17th and 22nd through 24th. Tickets will go on sale later this month, and they can be purchased by calling the USF Theater box office at 605-331-6787. For College Week, I'm Donovan Miner.
Coming up are highlights from the USF women's tennis team. Don't go away. The USF women's tennis team is working hard in preparation for their season beginning in January. College Week's Kendra Strasser has more on the story.
USF women's tennis gained 4 new freshmen this year. Coach Kevin Grebin is optimistic about how these young players will benefit the team.
Freshmen look like freshmen. It's in a different environment for them from high school and stuff, but I think they're adjusting quite well. Our tournament we had out in Rapid City, the freshmen played extremely well for it being their first time as a collegiate event. So, no, I'm very pleased with. They have a really good mix, and they've gotten a lot of support from the underclassmen, which is also very important. So I think it's going to be a good time for everyone.
Freshman Cassie Stanek is enthusiastic about being a part of such a great group of individuals.
I love it so far. All the girls are awesome, and I've had a blast. I haven't really even felt any pressure or anything. Everyone's so relaxed, and it's just really fun.
Ultimately, Grebin wants his athletes to work hard and have fun.
They're a nice group of young ladies, and they complement everybody else on the team as well. So it's going to be me and fun. That's what I like to have with my tennis players, and have them experience that fun while they're here. So I'm looking forward to a really fun season this year.
For USF College Week, I'm Kendra Strasser.
USF is publishing an alumni directory. This is an effort to reconnect with over 12,000 alumni worldwide. Alumni will be sent postcards and emails that will prompt them to update contact and biographical information. The directory will be released in March of 2014.
USF has been ranked as a top university in South Dakota for return on investment by AffordableCollegesOnline.org, today's primary resource for higher education affordability and financial aid information. AC Online identified the top 8 institutions in South Dakota where degrees pay off the most for graduates, and USF ranked number 3. To view a complete list of rankings for South Dakota schools, visit AffordableCollegesOnline.org.
College Week's Eric Carlson takes a look at what South Dakota local communities are doing to provide high school students with a successful future.
From elementary school to middle school to high school, where does South Dakota stand on preparing our students for a successful career? We wanted to know the answer to that question, so we called the South Dakota Department of Education and spoke with the Director of Learning and Instruction, Becky Nelson.
South Dakota actually has we have aspirations, and in our aspirations we actually break that down to 4 different areas. One of the areas is that we want to ensure that our students are entering 4th grade proficient or advanced in reading. Another area aspiration is that we want to ensure our students entering 9th grade are proficient or advanced in math. And then a third area is we want to close the Native American gap. And our 4th is to ensure all students are entering post-secondary college and career ready.
Part of the college and career readiness responsibility is assumed at the high school level as Washington High School Principal James Nold explains.
A lot of things for entry into college are established by state requirements, some federal requirements, which obviously the state takes those federal requirements then and dictates to local school districts what the minimums are. The local school districts can utilize those minimums and then go above and beyond that. So a lot of which in that is what are the required courses as far as coursework goes that would meet the minimum standards of college enrollment.
Yet Mr. Nold believes that preparedness for college isn't just about academics.
Another thing that we try to do in the high school level is to get the kids involved and active, and we believe that's also a very important part of the collegiate approach, to have the kids involved, to be involved in their community, to be involved in their school, which for most of the kids, the community that they have that exists is the school and the life of the school, but to try to have them very much so involved. So we look at it a couple different approaches. One, the academic side of it. Two, the growth side of just the student as an individual and the things that they're involved with and giving back, sharing, growing in so many ways that way.
So transitioning from high school to the real world, as we found out, includes not just the academic requirements set by the state, but also a more sensible approach provided by the local community schools. For USF College Week, I'm Eric Carlson.
Well, that seems pretty helpful for college or high school students. When you think back to when you were a high school senior, did you feel prepared for college?
I did, but one thing I wish high school would have taught me is how to balance my checkbook a little bit better. All about calculus, but I didn't really learn about balancing the checkbook until I got into the real world.
Well, coming up next is Java Talk. We'll be right back.
Academic excellence, inspired talent, Christian values, athletic champions. This is the University of Sioux Falls, proud to be with you the whole way.
Welcome to Java Talk. I'm your host, Eric Carlson. I'm sitting down today to talk about some radio with Greg Belfridge, who is from Kello. He's the program director. Welcome, Greg.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me.
You are welcome. Say, we're just kind of curious about radio and where it's going. Do you see any changes coming up with radio with our technology? I guess my question is, why would we want to listen to radio now when we've got so many other choices now with technology?
It's a great question. And the numbers show that people still listen to radio. It's a big part of their lives. 94% of people 12 and older still listen to the radio at least weekly. 75% of those people listen to the radio every day. So you have a good number of people who still turn to radio. Radio strength is because it's local, and that's one of the things radio continues to offer that you don't get necessarily from Pandora or you don't get from satellite radio. You find out what's happening in your neighborhood with your friends and your neighbors. As far as technology, it's greatly changed radio. We are really creators of content, whether we're creating content on the air, on radio, whether we're creating content now for our websites, for Facebook, for Twitter, podcasts. We're doing all of those things. We understand, as you said, that people are turning more to online, they're streaming, and we're trying, radio is there. We really consider ourselves to be a media company rather than just radio stations anymore.
Yeah, and I think we were seeing that all across the board with everything from newspapers to television. Everybody's kind of getting in the mix. So what are some maybe soft or hard type changes maybe that you've encountered just in the recent past?
Well, for years we thought of ourselves as just the radio station, and you do have to think differently as a media company. When we would go out and cover a story where we would just get audio, now we're taking photos for the website. It's little things like that you have to change. Writing up a story for the air is different than writing it to go on to the website. So there have been a lot of changes, and there's a lot of opportunity for people there in a variety of different ways that didn't exist before because of technology.
So you still see a lot of people listening. Now, are we losing listeners? I mean, do statistics show that we're losing listeners? Are we staying the same? Are we gaining? What's going on?
Well, there's a lot of competition. There's no question about that. The more choices that people have, the more competition there is. But radio has held firm. It's one of those media platforms that stands firm. One of the things I love about radio, and I've been hosting my own daily talk show now for 15 years, and what I found is you're speaking to people personally, and it has a personal impact on people. And that's what I love about it. It's a very personal medium. Television tends to be, you kind of watch television. You don't interact with it as much as you do with radio.
That's true.
It's radio's great strength.
So we're looking at this from a collegiate standpoint. So is this something that students can still maybe think about as an option for a career? And if so, what are the skill sets? I mean, are we looking at different skill sets now than we did in the past? Obviously, we are, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
So, you mentioned, right?
Oh, and there are a lot of opportunities. And one thing that's been disappointing to me, I would say, especially over the last 5 to 8, 10 years, is we've seen fewer students that are interested in radio, and that's unfortunate. Television has its appeal. People want to be seen, and it's real sexy to be on television. But as I said, radio strength is in its how personal it is, and people have a real personal connection with the people that they listen to on the air. Whether it's someone who's hosting, playing music, whether it's somebody like me who hosts a news talk show, or the news person they listen to, they develop very personal connections. So there are great opportunities in radio, and much greater than before, because as I mentioned, now we're really more a media company now. So if you're good at designing, working on the web and doing those kinds of things, there are opportunities there that weren't there before. So I think the opportunities now to be in media companies and radio is greater than it's ever been before.
See, and that's good to know. That's good to know, because students are looking for other avenues, I think, in media, and radio now being all-inclusive. I think we've got some great opportunities.
And I think especially if somebody maybe is looking to go into television or looking to do something else, radio is a great place to start. You learn basics of communication that will translate well into television careers later on.
Well, I appreciate you stopping down here, Greg. That's all the time that we have for today, unfortunately, but I do look forward to talking to you after the show.
Well, thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yep, you're welcome. That's all that we have for Job Talk today. We appreciate your time here. Coming up next is sports with Thomas Marshall.
USF. Cougar crazies. I got something for y'all to check out. Yep, cool gear. Y'all need to check it out. Cool gear. I said y'all should check it out. Cool gear. Check it out. Son. Yeah. To check it out. If the USF Cougars is something you need a rep, well then Cool Gear Locker is something you need to check. You're in need of apparel, you gotta be looking right. Go to cool-gearlocker.com website. When I spit it, y'all should listen. Try to determine how I rip it. USF is what we reppin'. USF is never slipping. Cougar fans are looking great. You know that we dominate. Need some gear and gotta wait with Cool Gear Locker. Raise the stakes. Cool Gear. Y'all need to check it out. Cool Gear. I said y'all should check it out. Cool Gear. Check it out. Cool Gear. You need to check it out.
And now a look at sports with Thomas Marshall.
Thomas, I had a great time watching you play the other day. That was a great victory you guys came away with against Augustana.
Yeah, it was a great game to witness. We're 2-0 versus Augie for this decade, in this lifetime. So I'm not mad at all. I can't be mad at all. So the volleyball girls, they're looking pretty strong this year. And, they have like about 5 or 6 matches left, and I think they're going to pull it out real strong.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
The USF volleyball team is on a roll. After last week's defeat of number 6 Southwest Minnesota State, the Cougars used their starters sparingly on Tuesday night, coasting to a 25-22, 25-11, and 25-15 sweep over the home team Dakota State Trojans. USF, 15-9 and 6-8 in the NSIC, entered the week as the number 1 ranked NSIC team in service aces and set the tone for the match early. The Cougars led the Trojans in every statistical category, including a very impressive .275, .056 advantage in team attack percentage as USF led by Aubrey Moline, Samantha Lowe, and Colleen Grease with 5 kills each. USF will be out of town this weekend, taking on the Minnesota Duluth and St. Cloud State. Speaking of Louisville, the USF junior middle blocker has been tabbed as the NSIC Offensive Player of the Week. A three-year starter, Louisville has been notched 30 kills and the league's best .532 average percentage. The Cougars put up a 2-1 record last week, including an impressive come-from-behind win over Southwest Minnesota State. Louisville played a key role in the victory, recorded in 10 kills and a career best 11 blocks in helping the USF pull off their biggest win in program history. Louisville also led the NSIC last week with a 1.73 block per game average when she shut down the door 19 times over the course of these matches. The USF women's soccer team fell 3-1 to Concordia St. Paul on Sunday, dropping to a 2-13-1 record and 2-10-1 NSIC on the season. The Golden Bears set the tone early, scoring all three of their goals within the first 18 minutes of the game. The Cougars were outshot 12-8, but would get on the board late in the game after Ferrando's third goal and the season's Tion Webb would notch an assist off the play. Goalkeeper Coron Cook would record 3 saves in 90 minutes of action, bumping her season save total up to 89. The Cougars will host in Augustana College Friday, November 1st at the USF Sports Complex, with the match unexpected to start at 6 p.m. The USF football team took a neighboring rival Augustana College at Bob Young Field last Saturday, maintaining position to the key to the city with a 27-10 victory. For more on the story, here's College Week with Dylan Dwyer.
The way I see it is this: you got the Super Bowl, you got the World Series, then you got Augie Week. I live for Augie Week because we're gonna run Augie Week, and that's why I love Augie Week.
Augie Week! Augie Week! Augie Week!
You know, I'm most excited for USF winning another game because it's Augie Week, and you know what that means. Cougars are winning, no guarantees, baby! Football!
Of course they're gonna beat Augie Santa.
Augie's gonna lose.
Yeah, USF's
gonna win.
We have the key to the city, and
I can't wait to see USF beat Augie and win the key to the city.
Augie Week!
Augie Week!
Just one thing. 84 catching touchdowns. Augie Week!
Hi, this is Austin Van Hove, USF tight end, number 84. I just wanted to give a big shout out to the Coup Nation for coming out and supporting us against Augie. I just wanted to thank everyone for coming out and just giving everything they had. The fan crowd definitely helped us during the game to win.
Logan Jans with the interception. That's your ball game. Final score, USF 27, Augustana 10.
Also, I just want to tell you guys, if you guys get locked out, just give us a holler. We got the key to this city. We'll get you out.
The best player in Sioux Falls Stampede franchise history has found a new home in the NHL. For now, that is. After playing 598 career regular season games with the Buffalo Sabres, Thomas Vanek was traded to the New York Islanders Sunday in a deal that saw winger Matt Mazzano, 2004 first round draft pick, and a 2015 second round pick sent to the Sabres in return. Vanek is set to become the unrestricted free agent after the season and may choose to test free agent waters. If he does, the Austrian-born winger has long been rumored to sign with the Minnesota Wild, a team located close to his current off-season home and former college team, the University of Minnesota Golden Gophers. In 999 NHL games, Vanek has scored over 254 goals and 243 assists and 497 points. A graduate of Sioux Falls O'Gorman High School, the 2003 fifth overall pick will score 80 goals and 73 assists and 153 points in 108 games over the course of 3 seasons with teams. His banner is just one of several Stampedes in the NHL. Alumni hanging in the rafters of the Sioux Falls Arena. And that's a wrap with sports. I'm Thomas Marshall.
Thanks, Thomas. Well, that's it for today, guys. So, Dylan, does that mean next week we'll be seeing the Ron Burgundy costume?
It most certainly does not mean we will be seeing Ron Burgundy.
Well, I hope we see it sometime. And what can we expect next week on Java Talk?
Well, Donovan Miner is interviewing Joel Obermuller, the theater director. So I think he's got some interesting questions for him.
Cool.
So looking forward to that.
Cool. Well, thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys next week. I'm Jaden Buchelman.
I'm Dylan Dwyer. Have a great day.